So I opened the door for the turkeys, let them try to see if they want to come out and free range a little bit this evening. It's the first time they've been able to get out and run a little bit. I'm not sure what they're going to do. They're checking it out pretty thoroughly. Well, here's a quick view. We call it the Hextall house. It's a hoop house. And this is what we put the broody chicks in for a little while. The heat lamp. The turkeys need the heat lamp a little bit longer than the chickens do, so the younger chickens have been moved into the coop back there. And thought we'd keep the turkeys in for a couple more weeks. I understand they're supposed to be about 8 weeks old, and they're pretty tough after 8 weeks, but before that, they're kind of vulnerable. These are black Spanish turkeys, as best we understand. The smaller one we think is a tom, and the larger one we think is a hen. Chickens and turkeys are pretty familiar with each other, and they've had exposure at the door and at the other end, so they frequently see each other through the fence. Here comes the real challenge. The Goslings are coming over to check it out. And the Goslings and these turkeys have had a number of conversations pecking at each other through the fence. There's the young goslings are talking to the turkeys. They seem to want to peck on them a little bit. Whoa. They need to be ready to head back for protection of their hoop coop. successfully run one of them off.
Come around here, little turkey.
There's the other one. Made the trip around the coop. And we're getting ready for round 2, maybe.
What are you doing, you big bully, you? You're a lot bigger than them. You shouldn't be picking on them. You're supposed to be guardians for them. Following Goosey's role model role there. And even the chickens are chasing them. You better move out of the way of the farmer. He's going to get after you. And that's a little one over there. You being intimidated. Uh-oh, there's Goosey after it, too. Leave that turkey alone. Leave that turkey alone. Just because they're bullies doesn't mean you have to be a bully too. Leave that alone.
So we just watered this area here. This is an area where the pigs started out early on digging up and rooting around. They got a bunch of the ground all rooted up. We planted a bunch of turnip seeds in it, and then covered it up with some straw to keep the chickens from pecking on it too bad. And then been watering a little bit. We're a couple days into it. Here's an area over here that you can see a little better where their turnips are coming up. Starting to grow in there. And if you look around, you can see some scattered out coming up through the straw in a few places. So this whole area here under this dogwood tree has got a bunch of turnips coming up in it. And the idea is later in the summer toward the fall, when the turnips are getting ripe, we'll let the pigs partake of some of that. Give them a little bit of groceries to eat. So a quick view inside the hoop coop. We have in one corner, we have our network cameras. And that's fed by an extension cord, which comes down and feeds the heat lamp down here for the turkeys. They got about another week and a half, I think. They'll be 8 weeks old. And that's supposed to be when they don't need the heat anymore. They spend a lot of time on the roost. We have a little roost bar going across the side here. And it's about 2 feet off the floor. 1.5 feet, 2 foot, something like that. And then we had a little smaller trainer roost for them. And the little chickens spent more time on that than the turkeys did. But they've moved on to the chicken coop. Bale of straw in here just for storage, keep it out of the rain. And we got a wood panel here in the end. Eventually I'll cut that open and put a automatic door on it maybe. And then over on this side, coming on around, we've got their water and their feed. And we're feeding them a 30% game bird starter and some water with a little bit of apple cider vinegar added to it. We used the 1/2-inch hardware cloth all the way throughout the whole the whole hoop coop because we've had problems with the minks getting in through the chicken wire and done a lot of devastation on our place. So hopefully this hardware cloth is going to keep the birds a lot safer. Here's the pigs. We got them first Saturday, May 6th, I think it was. They were 8 weeks old. They're a little bit older now, almost a month old since we've had them. And they've gotten considerably larger in the short amount of time. We've got the electric fence over there. They're still pretty respectful of it, but they still get into it on occasion, especially when they're paying attention to the food bowl and not the wire. They get their butts burned every now and again. Got that IBC tote for them to stay in. We got the 55-gallon drum with the water in it, and they don't seem to drink the water out of there very often. Once in a while they'll get over and get a drink, but most of the time they prefer out of the bowls. And we extended the area in the back. Let them get out there and root around that. They've got it pretty well rooted up now. And this other area that we extended earlier has been dug pretty thoroughly. Got their little wallow over here. They like digging up around this tree base. I'm going to unfold the panel and run it more in this direction over where it's cleared over there a little bit, and then turn it back to the left, which will be going south. And I've got a little area down that way kind of cleared out with the tractor, and then we'll go around this brush pile and come back over, probably about 60 feet back in the woods there, and come back around just behind the pallet. You can see the cattle panel back there up against the tree, and we'll extend it. We'll come back in over there, and then move that electric fence out through the woods there a little bit, and give them a lot more of this brush and stuff to get in there and start clearing on and working out. So these little pigs, they got their work cut out for them.